The member for North Vancouver-Seymour.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for the opportunity to speak to something that has shaped my life for almost 50 years. Before I begin, I wish to acknowledge the Lekwungen people, the Songhees and the Kapsalem, who graciously greet us, bless us, and encourage us to carry out our legislative work with wisdom and meaning. I also recognize and acknowledge in North Vancouver-Seymour the Tsleil-Waututh and the Squamish peoples, guardians of the land and waters of Burrard Inlet. For many years, Remembrance Day season was heralded by the first cenotaph guard practices in September. Young people would learn ceremonial drill, how to lower the rifle without dropping it, how to let it touch the ground without so much as a sound. And then came drill practices for the rest of us. Figure out who belonged in which platoon, who was leading, whether we could all march in step. These rituals became almost a rhythm of the year. Then the day itself would arrive, sometimes bright and frosty, sometimes cold and rainy, sometimes something in between. We would gather, form up our platoons, and march in parade to the cenotaph. Left, right, left, arms swinging, boots striking the ground in unison. Then halting, left turn, shoulder dressing to the right, standing at attention for prayers, or at ease while listening to school children read poems or choirs sing hymns. Everywhere you looked, you would see the deep symbolism of service, black, green, blue, and red serge uniforms of those serving today. The Navy League, Army cadets, Air cadets, reservists, regular force members, the RCMP, all gathered together, remembering, supporting, and grieving veterans, both present and past. Poppies pinned to each left lapel, medals resting on chests that carried stories of service, sacrifice, deployments, and places whose names many Canadians will never hear. Wreaths laid with care with a steady salute by dignitaries representing governments and community groups. And always we watched the ever-diminishing group of veterans, some in navy blazers and gray slacks, berets perfectly angled, others bundled in warm coats and toques, but always there, always remembering. Scenes like this unfold every November 11th in communities across British Columbia. It is important, too, to reflect on the broader story of remembrance in Canada. In 1991, a group of Indigenous veterans were asked not to lay their wreath at the cenotaph in Ottawa. In wake of that painful moment, National Indigenous Veterans Day began to be observed on November 8th. The pageantry is different: blankets, ceremony, the presence of elders, but the remembering, honoring, and grieving are the same. There are photographs of loved ones that went to war and never returned, stories of inequity in service and post-war benefits. On the Squamish Nation, a veteran powwow is held with a grand entry that honors those present and those who came before. Our legions also play a vital role in keeping traditions strong. They organize Remembrance Day services and open their doors afterwards to service members, veterans, families, and the community members. My own Lynn Valley Legion branch, 114, of which I'm a proud member, is a shining example of this commitment. Every year, the Poppy campaign raises funds to support veterans and assist community groups, sports teams, guiding and scouting units, dance companies, and school programs. The Legion applies for and distributes gaming grants, augments Poppy funds, and creates a warm and welcoming space where people gather, sometimes for live music, sometimes trivia or bingo, sometimes seasonal festivities, and others simply for the comfort of community. It is a gathering place of service and honor. Schools also play a powerful role in remembrance. Many host ceremonies with a veteran or a serving Canadian Armed Forces member speaking to students about Canada's contributions in global conflicts: Crimean War, First and Second World Wars, Korea, the Gulf War, and most recently Afghanistan. They highlight Canada's long tradition of peacekeeping, disaster relief in the wake of earthquakes, typhoons, and hurricanes, and the domestic operations during fires and floods. Training missions conducted around the world also help local forces strengthen their skills and capacity. Students respond with songs, poems, dance pieces, and reflections, reminders of the children and youth whose lives are shaped by the example of brave, selfless individuals serving our country. Across nearly every ceremony, certain words resonate each year. Lieutenant Colonel John McCrae's in Flanders Fields, written amid the devastation of First World War, remains central to our collective memory. And Lawrence Binion's famous lines from The Fallen echo through time. They shall not grow old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them.